The Story of Soap, written and presented by Geeta Vijayachandran. Soap has a history going back as far as 6,000 years. In a small village near the Euphrates River lived a group of people. This village was about 45 miles from the city of Babylon. The Babylonians were good observers. They were good hunters too. After the catch, they would make a fire and roast the meat. The fat from the meat would fall on the ashes. This used to make a nasty mess, and no one liked to touch it. Being hunters, meat was eaten very often. The fat would drip and cover the ash and the nearby spots. When it rained, the water would fall on the ash and fat. The water would carry the fat and the ash into the nearby river. Something very surprising happened. When the people washed their clothes in the river, the clothes came out clean. Someone came up with a great idea. Let us put all the fat and ash in a barrel and leave it in the rain. Then we can use this to wash our clothes. This is how the first soap came. It may not have been the best soap, but it cleaned the clothes. Ancient Mesopotamia. The people of Mesopotamia were known by various names depending on the specific region and period. Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers in modern-day Iraq, was home to the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and the Assyrians. The people of ancient Mesopotamia were the first to produce a kind of soap by cooking fatty acids. It was a fat rendered from a slaughtered cow, sheep, or goat, together with water and an alkaline like lye, a caustic substance derived from wood ashes. The result was a greasy and smelly goop that lifted away dirt. Records on clay tablets from the ancient Sumerian period show evidence of a soap-like substance being used for cleaning, particularly for removing grease from wool before dyeing. A couple hundred years later, the Akkadian Empire in the Mesopotamian region used a mixture of plants such as date palm, pine cone, and a shrubby plant called tamarisk. Such a mixture is consistent with the basic ingredients of modern-day soap, that is, an alkali such as tamarisk, an oil such as date palm, and an abrasive such as pine cone. People probably created soap unintentionally. Cleaning a greasy pan with plant ash under high heat would produce soap, as would boiling animal fats with wood ash. What did ancient Egyptians do? The Ebers Papyrus from around 1550 BC mentions the use of soap-like substances for medicinal purposes, created by combining animal fats or vegetable oils with trona, a soda ash. During the medieval and Renaissance periods, soap production continued in the Middle East and later in Europe, with the use of olive oil and other local oils becoming prominent. The Romans were aware of soap, but its use for personal hygiene was not widespread. Instead, they primarily used olive oil for bathing and then scraped off the oil and the grime with a strigil, that is, a metal or reed scraper. Initially, soap was primarily used for washing laundry because it was too strong for the delicate skin. Over time, soap was gradually adopted for personal hygiene as well, with milder recipes being developed and becoming more common by the end of the 2nd century AD. The common soap baths were used throughout history. Soap was medically used for treatment of skin diseases. For a long time, experiments went on using different things that were added to make soap. Common soap baths were invented in the 19th century. Which is the oldest known soap? Aleppo soap, originating from the city of Aleppo, Syria, is widely considered the oldest known soap. Its traditional manufacturing processes using olive oil, water, and lye date back thousands of years. Modern soap. The 18th century saw the introduction of new sources of fats like palm oil and coconut oil, which helped expand soap production and consumption. The development of commercial soap production and the understanding of hygiene's role in preventing diseases further propelled soap's widespread use. Even today, soap is made from fat and ash. The fat may be animal fat or vegetable fat. The lye comes from ashes. It is a wonderful thing as we can clean ourselves now. Modern soap. History of shower gel and liquid soap reaches only around 100 years into our past. It follows inventions and advancements created by many scientists around the world. The main difference between liquid soap and shower gels is that gels don't contain saponified oil. They are based mostly on petroleum and have numerous chemical ingredients that help easier cleaning of skin. It lathers better in hard water areas and does not leave mineral residue on the skin and bathtub. They are in the balanced pH state and they don't irritate the skin. What else is added to soap now? Because some shower gels can cause drying up of the skin after use, many manufacturers insert various moisturizers into the recipe. Some use menthol, an ingredient that gives your skin sensation of coldness and freshness. Majority of shower gels have conditioning agents. My memory of soap seeds. When I was about 7 or 8, I remember people in the village used seeds of a certain tree to wash clothes. The soap was still around, but was used only for cleaning the body due to the high cost. The seeds were taken and mixed with water, and this gave a good lather. This was used to wash clothes. My research about this revealed Sapindus mucorosi, commonly known as Indian soapberry, is a species of tree in the family Sapindaceae. It is a deciduous tree that grows in the lower foothills and mid-hills of the Himalayas at altitudes of up to 1,200 meters. It is also native to western coastal Karnataka, Maharashtra, Kerala, and Goa in India. It is tolerant to reasonably poor soil, and one tree can produce 30 to 35 kilograms of fruit per year. The value of the tree mostly comes from its fruit. It can be used for many pharmacological and cleansing purposes. The soap nut contains a compound of saponin, which has natural cleansing properties, and therefore the soap nut can be used as a cleanser for hair, skin, and clothing. These saponins are also useful in insecticides for purposes such as removing head lice off the scalp. The DIY soap powder. You can also powder soap nuts to use as a homemade laundry detergent. When did bathing with soap become more routine? Historians aren't quite sure when bathing with soap became more routine, but in the Western world, it wasn't until much later, likely the early to mid 1800s. When did bathing with soap become more routine? Historians aren't quite sure when bathing with soap became more routine, but in the Western world, it wasn't until much later, likely the early to mid 1800s. What is soap? Soap is a sodium salt or potassium salt of long chain fatty acids that has cleansing action in water. Soap chemistry involves the creation of soap through a process called saponification. The process of making soap by the hydrolysis of fats and oils with alkalis is called saponification. Soap is made by heating animal fats or vegetable oil with concentrated sodium hydroxide. Fat or oil plus NaOH, which is sodium hydroxide, gives us soap plus glycerol. This reaction produces glycerol, And the sodium or potassium salts of long-chain carboxylic acids are known as soaps. These soap molecules have a hydrophilic, that is water-loving head, and a hydrophobic, oil-loving tail, allowing them to emulsify oil and grease, making them effective in cleaning. Mechanism of soaps. When a dirty cloth is put in water containing soap, then the hydrocarbon ends of the soap molecule in the micelle attach to the oil or grease particles present on the surface of dirty cloth. In this way, the soap micelles entraps the oily particles by using the hydrocarbon ends. The ionic ends of the soap molecules remain attached to the water when the dirty cloth is agitated in soap solution. The oily particles present on its surface gets dispersed in the water, due to which the cloth gets clean. We must remember to thank the people who discovered soap almost 6,000 years ago in ancient Babylon by mixing animal fats with wood ash and water. This created the cleansing substance we use today. That brings us to the end of the story of soap. Thank you for watching. This is Geeta Vijayachandran signing off.